Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're highlighting a case from October 1991, one that happened in Memphis, Tennessee. A 20-year-old college student with a brand new car and a recent promotion at Federal Express was building a promising future. On a Friday evening, she sat in her driveway talking with a young man. Neighbors saw them speaking, and then, without warning, she was gone. No goodbye to her mother, no call to work, no explanation, just a car she'd owned for 6 weeks, found abandoned 2 weeks later. For 34 years, her family has searched for answers. This is the story of Felicia Clark. Felicia Lachell Clark was born on October 16, 1971. By the fall of 1991, she was a full-time student at Lemoyne-Owen College and worked part-time at Federal Express, where she had just been promoted. Felicia stood 4 feet 9 inches tall and weighed between 130 and 140 pounds. She had brown hair, brown eyes, and wore prescription glasses she needed to see. Her ears were pierced, she had a mole on the right side of her chest, and she also had chronic sinus problems that caused her eyes and nose to run. She was known as a conservative dresser and was exceptionally close to her mother. They spoke multiple times every single day. On September 10, 1991, just 6 weeks before she disappeared, Felicia purchased her first car, a gray 1984 Hyundai sedan. For a 20-year-old balancing school and work, that car represented independence, mobility, her future. 45 days later, that future would be interrupted. Friday, October 25th, 1991. Felicia was at home, getting ready for her night shift. Her work uniform, a long-sleeve black floral print blouse and black stretch pants, was laid out in her bedroom, ready for her shift. Sometime that evening, neighbors saw her sitting in her gray Hyundai in the driveway. She was talking with a young man. No one heard what they discussed. No one knows where they went. It was the last verified sighting of Felicia Clark. At exactly 6 p.m., Felicia's mother, Dolores Clark Burrow, arrived home from work. The house was quiet. Felicia wasn't there. Inside, Dolores found her daughter's checkbook, her jewelry, her work clothes, and her prescription glasses. Felicia never left for anything important without them. At first, Dolores assumed her daughter had stepped out briefly. But as the time passed, that feeling shifted from uneasy to alarmed. Felicia's shift at the Federal Express began at 10 p.m. She always left home by 9:15. She was known for being dependable that way. But 9:15 came and went. There was no Felicia, no phone call, just silence. This was the moment Dolores knew something was terribly wrong. The mother and daughter spoke multiple times a day, sometimes 5 times, and never went long without checking in. For Felicia to disappear without a word, something had stopped her. When Felicia didn't come home and didn't show up for work, her mother contacted the Memphis Police Department. A missing person report was filed. Everything in the house suggested Felicia had planned to return. Her clothes were ready for work. Her glasses were still at home. Her paycheck was left uncashed. The young man she was seen talking to has never been publicly identified. 2 weeks after Felicia vanished, her gray Hyundai was found abandoned. Investigators have never released the exact location, but it raised new and difficult questions. Without knowing why the car was left there, or by whom, investigators were left with more mystery than a resolution. As the days turned into months, and the months turned into years, Dolores Clark Burrow never stopped searching. She contacted media outlets, reached out to national shows like Unsolved Mysteries, and even built a website dedicated to her daughter's case. She balanced the fight with her work as a State Farm insurance agent in Memphis. No matter how much time passed, she still refused to give up. In May of 2013, the rescue of Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight, who had been held captive for a decade in Cleveland, Ohio, made national headlines. Dolores saw their story and spoke publicly, saying, "I wouldn't wish this on anyone. And all these years, I just refuse to believe that I will never know anything. So in the Ohio case, yes, that has given me hope. If they could be found, maybe Felicia could too." Felicia's disappearance is listed in multiple national databases, including the Charlie Project and the Doe Network. Investigators believe foul play was involved, and her case is classified as endangered missing. But without evidence, without a suspect, and without any leads, the case eventually went cold. 34 years have passed since Felicia Lachell Clark disappeared. She would be 54 years old today. Her mother has lived more than 3 decades without answers, without closure. Her case remains unsolved. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Felicia Clark. If you have any information about the disappearance or possible whereabouts of Felicia Clark, contact the Memphis Police Department Cold Case Unit. You can find their contact information in the description below. As we close out this episode, remember that sharing Felicia's story helps to spread awareness as her loved ones continue their search for answers. And it could also help spark new leads in her case. Follow Hunting for Answers for updates on this case and others like it. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more true crime stories and updates. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to share your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.